We can definitely help you when it comes to dealing with negativity, dealing with the haters and the naysayers. It's very normal when you get involved in this profession.
It's very normal.
Very normal, especially if you weren't very influential prior to getting involved.
Is, if you do not have any critics, like you're not moving up.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're probably not doing a whole lot if
right.
nobody's talking about you. If you're going to do anything really in life,
if you're
right,
going to play big,
you're going to have haters. You know what? It's not even a hater. It's just that they look at you as competition. They look at you as someone that is doing something that they don't like, because sometimes you're a reflection of who they could be. I can tell you that the people that used to hate on us in the early years or make fun of us, let's not say they even hated on us, they would make fun of what we did, right? Like, oh, you rich yet? And now we are, right? So you don't deal with it later on when you're successful from the same people, but guess what? You'll have different types of haters and naysayers, especially when you're putting yourself out there on the interwebs,
right.
And you're building your brand and you're speaking your truth and you're speaking about things you believe in. Even if you're not a network marketer, you're going to deal with people that aren't your audience, right? You're going to deal with people that don't like the way you talk. They don't like the way you are. They don't like what you're all about.
Your goal online is to attract and repel.
It's like a magnet.
Yes. So you cannot attract without repelling.
Yes.
And sometimes those that we repel, they just speak up. So how do we deal with it?
What you feed will grow and what you ignore will die. So I know it's easier said than done sometimes. You just can't feed into it. But I will say this, when you're new, it's very challenging to ignore it, especially if it's like your brother,
or
right?
Your husband.
Or your spouse, or a coworker. So you have to maybe have a very difficult conversation. Be like, listen, I'm doing something I'm excited about. I'm doing something that I'm nervous about. I don't need you making it more difficult. Like, I get that you don't like it, but you know what? If you love me, encourage me. If you love me and you care about me, then just know that this is something I want to give a shot. And I want to give it a shot, and I don't need that negativity. And again, as easy as it is to say that, also, I know that can be difficult. And I know maybe you've already had that conversation, but you got to find a way to mute it. You can't deal with that negativity and just argue with them. I remember I used to fight with my friends. I used to try to convince them that what I did was legit. And you know, I'm glad I dealt with that negativity because it made me stronger. It thickened my skin,
yes, it
right? But it does suck to waste that much energy trying to convince somebody, right? A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So does that make some sense? Like, you have got to ignore it. You can't feed into it. Like, the worst thing you could do is a post online about it, right? You
because it gives them pleasure
that
like, they're getting
you're
to
literally
you.
talking about this hater. You're talking about this. What about someone that maybe they joined your team and they quit, right? And you're telling everyone, block this person, delete this person. You're actually giving them traffic. You're driving people to them because people are like,
it's counter.
Why did you leave? Yeah, I literally, when someone quits my team, now let me back up for a second. I wish them the best.
Yes,
right? If someone quits and they're cool and you know what I mean? Like I hope they have success. Like, just because they don't have success on my team or in my company doesn't mean that they can't be successful elsewhere. Or it doesn't mean that I should burn the bridge. Now, if they're a bad person, it's different, right? If it's a bad person, all right? So I've had some experiences in the past with upline, downline, people that, for me, when they left, I was like, oh, thank God. I was okay with never, ever seeing that person again, so I blocked them on every platform. If people ask me, hey, what's up with so-and-so? I'd be like, who is that?
They say that misery, right, loves company.
It's true.
But no, I think it's misery hates to lose company. But when it comes to actually dealing with that, right, you need to kind of recognize, okay, so are they giving you feedback that's actually useful? Like sometimes we want to take it personally and say, oh, I have this hater and they're hating on the way that I'm doing stuff. But maybe, you know, there's some good, valuable nuggets that you can learn from that. Like John and I
and maybe they had a bad experience.
Sure.
Maybe they don't understand what you do is different because they had a bad experience.
Yes.
Sometimes I like to read what a hater has to say, right? And again, hater is just the word, like the common word we use. They're not even a hater of you. Maybe they're just a disliker, right? Maybe they just don't like. They don't like that. They don't like your personality. They don't like the way you talk. They don't like those types of businesses. They had a bad experience. Maybe they have a justifiable reason why they don't like it. And if you heard the full story, you'd be like, ooh, I can see why you wouldn't like the thing I posted or why you took it personal. I also want to say this. I'm not going to try to justify my actions or try to convince them to agree with me, but I'm okay with listening and be like, okay, I see your perspective, right? It always depends on the situation, right? There's people that are negative, and then there's people that are nasty. And there is a difference, right?
Or cynical.
Cynical, yeah.
There's certain people that you cannot afford to spend a day with.
Yeah.
Or an hour with. Or there's some people you cannot even afford to spend 2 minutes with.
Yeah.
Because it's like a virus that is going to attack, and then you're going to have to decompress from all of that. That steals that energy away from you changing the world, from you actually spending time, energy, and efforts with the right people, right?
This is why Nadya never likes the scary movies or the suspenseful movies.
I
It's
want
too
you to pay for
negative.
stress.
All these people are dying. This is so sad. Turn off the news. Things might also change. If they see you create results and you were nice to them, and you didn't like blow them out of the water because they made one comment that hurt your little feelings, they may come around later because you have persuaded them through your results and your consistency and your positivity, right? Like eventually you may rub off on that person and they come around and they're like, you know what? Maybe I need to take a look at what you're doing, because they jumped to conclusions in the beginning, but because you weren't emotional and you didn't react and you didn't post about it on Facebook. But at the same time,
be cool.
Sometimes it is nice. It is nice sometimes to get reinforcement from your audience, right? Like I'll have things happen. Like
maybe do it as a teaching moment.
Yeah, exactly.